So I recently got the night train from Bangkok down to Surat Thani in order to come here to Koh Phangan, one of the islands that hosts the full moon party. Now, it was a pretty interesting experience, so I wanted to share that whole process with you guys. So if you're looking to do the same thing, you know what to expect. So first, I booked a second class sleeper AC train ticket on 12go.com. It cost me about $23. In comparison to fly here, it costs about $120 depending on when you book. I then got a grab from my hostel to the train station, which was actually quite close by and quite accessible in Bangkok. When I got to the station, I noticed that my ticket had a carriage number, so I went to that carriage and found myself a bed. Now, I went to the first bed that I could see, which was a big double bed with a window. And what I later realized is that it doesn't work like it does in the UK, where you just choose your seat. You're actually assigned a seat. And unfortunately, my seat wasn't the nice big one on the bottom bunk. It was actually a much smaller bunk on the top bunk. Now, the top bunks were definitely a little bit tricky to get up into, and they just about fit me and my big backpack. But once I got in there, it was pretty comfortable. It was about 8 o'clock at this point, and there was a woman walking up and down the aisle selling some food, but honestly, I had no idea what it was. So fortunately, an attendant came up to me and told me that there was a dining carriage on Carriage 5. It definitely looked a little bit grubby, and there was a limited menu. I think they even had stuff like spaghetti carbonara. But honestly, it all looked pretty suspect. So I went for the thing that I knew I could rely on the most, something that's fried, spring rolls. And of course, underneath the little bit of salad that they gave me on the side, there was a dead fly. But hey, that's to be expected. After dinner, I made my way back towards my carriage to the toilets and brushed my teeth. And let me tell you, those toilets absolutely stink. So I would highly advise you to empty yourself before you get on that train to avoid having to sit on those toilets, because it was absolutely awful. One of the things I was looking forward to the most being on that train was having a bit of time to get some editing done before going to bed. And fortunately, my laptop has a very long-lasting battery because there are no power outlets beside your bed. So just be aware of that. The only power outlets I could find was down towards the end of the carriage where the conductor sat, and it was kind of a wire hanging out with a socket, which was a little bit sketchy, and then also next to the sink, which also isn't ideal. So that's definitely something to take note. Charge all your stuff before you get on that train. So after getting some good editing done, I put my head down and I got some good sleep. And honestly, the beds were pretty comfortable. The sheets were a little bit suspect, but I bring an extra sheet with me anyway, so it doesn't really matter for me. The next morning, I was awoken at 6 a.m. to the sound of my neighbor having a nice loud conversation with another carriage member. So I used that opportunity to get up and go and check out the scenery. And let me tell you, it was well worth it. So I believe the train was due to arrive at around 8 o'clock, and it had a couple stops before getting to Surat Thani. It honestly arrived about an hour late, but fortunately for me, I hadn't booked any onward journeys, so I wasn't too worried about missing my next taxi or boat or anything like that. I was, however, a little bit nervous as to how I was going to get from the train station to Koh Phangan. Now, you have to get a ferry to Koh Phangan, but in order to get to the ferry dock, you need to get a shuttle bus or a taxi or something like that. But fortunately, as soon as you get off the train, there are a bunch of people selling tickets to get to the island anyway, so you can just pretty much compare your prices and go with whichever one suits you best. I went with a company that sold me tickets from the train station to the ferry terminal and then the ferry across to Koh Phangan. It cost me around 260 baht, which I'll put down below in dollars. The ferry then took about 3.5 hours, and before you know it, I got to this beautiful sunny island of Koh Phangan, and I've actually honestly been staying here for like almost 3 weeks now, and it's absolutely amazing. I'll do another video about that soon, but thanks for watching this video. I hope it's given you a little bit of insight as to how to get down to these islands if you're coming from Bangkok. If you like this video, please press subscribe and leave a comment, ask me any questions. I'm looking for guidance on this channel, so anything helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and also, if you like vlogs, check out my vlog. I vlogged the whole process, so that can be found here or here. I don't know. I'll put it in the description below. It might pop up as a recommended video. I'll see you guys later.